you're at the meat counter and trying to determine those lean cuts of beef, are there certain words you should look for in cuts of meat?
Right. So really an easy way is if you see the word round or loin, those cuts are always going to be leaner. Okay. So generally those, we talked about 38 to 40 cuts. Well, a vast majority of those are cuts that come from the round or the loin. So sirloin, okay, top loin, outside round, inside round. So notice they all have the word round in that. And those are all going to be the leaner cuts of beef automatically. Today, it's getting a little bit more complicated because really now you can just look with your eye. If there's not much fat on the outside, just buy that product, because where they used to sell like chuck cuts where they had all the muscles kind of together in a big chuck roast with seam fat in the middle of it, they don't do that anymore. They separate those muscles out individually, such as the top blade or the flat iron steak, which is also a very lean cut. And so while that comes from the chuck, it's still lean. So used to be you just say buy from the round and loin, you're good. But now you can buy anything that has a lot of red, maybe a little bit of marbling in the meat. That's good. But if it has a lot of fat on the outside, just don't buy that product. So it really is that easy. If you take a look, there's right now 38 to 40 lean beef cuts. Those would be lean beef according to the American Heart Association's definition for lean. And so as we walk through this case, you can see that when you pick a cut that is mostly red, not much white, not really that concerned about the white in the muscle, which we call marbling, unless it's exorbitant amount of fat there. But we're really more looking at the fat along the outside. And so when you look at just a 3-ounce portion of lean beef, there's many, many cuts throughout this case that you can find. So look for the red, stay away from the cuts that have a lot of white on the outside or big white specks, not necessarily specks, but seams of fat in the middle. So, that round cut, you notice it's really grainy. That's why they cut it thin. Generally, if you had a thicker round cut, you want to pot roast that or do something with liquid cooking. But if you have a steak or roast, you really want to buy either something from the rib or the loin, a tenderloin, top loin, strip loin, ribeye, okay, top sirloin. Those cuts are the ones that are good for grilling. So again, you're right, it's pretty easy. But don't think just because it's lean and I can just throw it on the grill. If it comes, some of those cuts are a little tougher, particularly those still from the round.